Hi guys. So I am about a minute and a half early from when I said I was going to be, but you should probably get used to that with me because I like to be early for things. And besides, I want to spend a little time telling you guys about my morning. Just give me a second. I'm going to wait for the excuse me, for the actual YouTube to come up so I can get the chat up. I like being able to see the chat on these things. Oh, look at that. It's already up. Wow. Hello. What did I do? Okay, I think that's right. The actual YouTube. Now I need chat, don't I? It helps me to have chat up. Okay, I think that'll do it. All right, so if you've watched my last bonus video, you'll know that what I intended to do with all these ends here was I wanted to flush cut them. I forgot to do that. Look at that. I wanted to flush cut them, but when I wanted to use my my Dremel tool to do that. But when I went to get the wood cutoff blade for my Dremel tool that I've had, God, it's got to be for 10 years. The Dremel tool, my Dremel tool, I think is the first power tool I ever got. And if I remember correctly, it was given to me by my my in-laws. My in-laws are actually pretty cool, and they're not on YouTube. They won't go to YouTube, so I can say that without fear of my mother-in-law getting too swelled of a head. My in-laws are quite cool. So they've given me actually most of the tools that I own, which is pretty cool. They're really good. Anyway, so I've had the Dremel tool for, I don't know, I think 15 years I've had it. I think it was 15 years ago they gave it to me. Oldest one I've got. And I've had that wooden cutoff blade since the beginning. And when I went to use it last night to do this, I couldn't find it. I think now, if I'm thinking about it, I think I actually used it to cut metal once and ruined it. I have that thought in my head now. I'm not sure. But anyway, I had to go out and get a new wood cutoff blade this morning so I could do this. So here's my story. I went to Home Depot, and Home Depot has a big wall of Dremel accessories. And I went in there and I found a cutoff blade, perfect cutoff blade. It's like 10 bucks. And then I looked at it, and the hole that the mandrel fits through was about 3 times the size of the mandrels that I have. So I looked closely at it, and it was for the they have a special wood saw attachment for a Dremel tool, and that was 35 bucks. And I just thought to myself, no. I mean, all I want is a freaking blade. Why can't I get a blade in the same size as the mandrel that comes with the damned Dremel tool? Because that's what the original cutoff blade was, that size, and it fit on my Dremel tool. No, wasn't one there. There was another wooden cutoff blade that came with a quick disconnect kind of style of a mandrel, which required me to buy a quick disconnect for another, I think it was $29. Just freaking stupid. So I said, to hell with this, and I went to Harbor Freight. So Harbor Freight, I still spent 35 bucks, but here's what I got at Harbor Freight. I got a diamond honing block set for my, where'd it go? For my chisels. These, I think these are Harbor Freight too. And I got a couple of nicks out of this one, and I sharpened it on my sharpening stone here recently, but that's a crappy sharpening stone too. And I actually have some good sharpening kits somewhere in all of those boxes back there. I don't know where they are, but this is some diamond honing blocks, and this was like $9, I think, or something like that. So that was cool. I got that. Typical guy, right? Go out for one thing, come back with 3. And then I got my rotary tool blades. Now this one comes with too large of a hole too, but it comes with the mandrel for it. And this was like, I think $7 or something like that. I'm not sure. And then, actually, I suppose I have the receipt in here somewhere. And then I actually got another rotary tool set. And this was like $9, I think. And all totaled, with taxes, it came to like 35 bucks, I think. And I don't know where the receipt is. So for the price of the cutoff blade that I wanted to get, what it would have cost me at Home Depot, I got all of this instead. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to set this up today with this. Hopefully it will work. Hopefully that mandrel's not too big for that chuck. If it is, if the mandrel's too big for the chuck, I'll just put it in my regular Dremel tool. But this is a nice small little rotary tool here. And if this mandrel fits in it, it'll be perfect for doing this. So that's what I'm going to do. And you now get to watch me do it. I see people have found us online already, so hi guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this apart. One thing I have noticed a lot recently is they really make these packages tough to get into. I'm not quite certain why that is. When I was at the checkout, the guy at the checkout offered me the 2-year warranty plan on this thing for $10. So the warranty plan costs more than the tool itself. And I'm thinking, you know what? If this breaks within 2 years, I'll buy a brand new one for another $10. And what's this? Ooh, this is nice, actually. This is a set, if they're any good. I mean, this is a set of those diamond shaping blades. And I use stuff like that a lot in the detail work on those helmets. So that might be nice. Oh, something else here too. I think these are cut-off blades or sanding blades. They're cut-off blades. More cut. I got a lot of these cut-off blades now. Those are the metal ones. Those ones are the really, really cheap ones. They don't last very well, very long. But they still do cut. So what else we got here? Let's look at this. You know, I mean, oh hey, well that's nice. That's a larger. I don't know what this part is called. Chuck, I guess, for my mandrel. Some drill bits. Another. Oh, this is an auger bit. There's a 2 mandrels for sanding discs. These are good. I use these a lot. Damn, there's a lot here. Like, this is a legit little tool here. Hopefully it works. Let's check it out and see if it works. Because, you know, if it doesn't actually spin, it wasn't really worth the money now, was it? So on one of my earlier, I think it was the last night's bonus video, one of the two bonus videos from last night, somebody pointed out that I misspelled boards too. I misspelled more and I misspelled boards from floorboards. Like, I was having a bad day yesterday. I feel better today though, that's good. I was really dragging my ass something awful yesterday. Apparently it's on. Okay, so this might get loud, or it might not. Wow, if that works, that's pretty nice if it works. I hope it works. So let's put this stuff back where it's supposed to be. I'll probably just put this in one of my larger rotary tool collections here, just to keep it all in the same place. So now, the real reason that I bought this. Now this is interesting. There are many different blade sizes here and tooths. So 1/8" shank, 1 3/4" 72 tooth blade, 1 3/8" 36 tooth, 36 tooth. So there's one 72 tooth, which is this one, and the rest are 36 tooth. Now, so this one's a 36 tooth here, and this one's a 72 tooth, but they look to be about same distance apart because obviously this is a much smaller blade than this one. I'm going to start off with this one, I think, because I think it will probably give me a straighter cut. That's interesting. I'm just playing around with it a little bit. You probably can't see this on camera, but there's actually oil in each one of these. I guess they're probably prone to rust. I mean, let's face it. I think this whole kit was like $7 or $9. So it's not like they're the best steel you've ever seen. And don't get me wrong. I mean, if I use this a lot, I'd probably want better steel. But this is the first time in like 15 years that I've ever actually really used it for the purpose it's intended for. Wow, there's a lot of oil on that. I'm just going to get a paper towel here and dry that off. Just put these back there because I think we're going to need the room. I'm going to have to, so I'm going to finish this side here, and then I'm going to have to flip it over to get that other side over there. So I'm not putting my back to it. Nope. I also need a screwdriver. Now, I might have to change this around. I'm not sure of the rotation of that thing. I'll just grab a screwdriver here, one sec. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to put a bigger chuck in here. I'm pretty sure that's not going to fit. Yeah. That's not it. So I watched Maze Runner last night after I get off. Interesting movie. I liked it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I mean, it's not highbrow entertainment by any stretch of the imagination. Interesting storyline. I put it very much in the same category with Divergent and Hunger Games. I think they're they're all about, and actually I kind of similar to Logan's Run from the 70s, I think. You know, kind of this utopian, dystopian future kind of thing. Where, you know, something's going on and the main characters don't know what it is, and you know, maybe the world you know, has suffered some sort of an apocalypse or something. So all in all, yeah, not a bad movie. Definitely would recommend it to go see. Well, rent it from your one of your streaming services or something. If you're expecting high drama, though, no. High drama, it ain't. Wow, that could be. So that's spinning that way, which should be fine, I think. All right, time to put the safety glasses on. Let's see what this does. This is a lot easier on the microphone than the other one was, but when I start cutting into the wood, assuming it works okay, it's still probably going to get loud. So turn down your volume if you don't want to get your ears blown out. It might not be loud, I don't know. Oh, well, that's certainly better. You know what I got to do, though? I am half blind now, so it's really tough when I'm up close. I might have to, I'd love to do that, but no, it's not going to work. I'm going to have to go with these because I just can't see otherwise, and hopefully it's going to protect me enough. Yeah, so it's not bad, but this little thing, you know, for $10, this little thing doesn't have anywhere near the power that my my actual Dremel tool had, so it does get bogged down a lot easier. It's not burning the wood though, so that's a good thing. So I'll keep doing this and see what it takes. Seems to cut through it pretty well, though, I'll tell you. Definitely can get bogged down though. I mean, let's face it, it's cutting popsicle sticks and it's having a bit of a hard time. So, but I bought it to cut popsicle sticks. So, and it's definitely easier to handle. I mean, you saw I've got that kind of a pen attachment on mine because I like the really lightweight in my hand to use. But that really thick cable behind it makes it still even a little more difficult to use. Where this can go anywhere, and it's actually quite nice to handle. Yeah, all in all, I gotta say I like it. I mean, is it worth I think that was like a $200 Dremel tool? No, it's not. But you understand that it's a $10 tool that you can use for engraving or fine sculpting work on Bondo and stuff like that. I think it works quite well. In fact, I'd go so far as to guess that my father-in-law might have wanted to have one of these. My father-in-law used to etch windows, and he'd do it with a Dremel tool similar to mine with one of those attachments on it. I bet having the flexibility and the ease of use of something like this, I think he'd really have liked that. It's going to be a while. There's a lot of work to do here, and it's not going as fast as I would have liked. But all in all, I'm definitely happy here. I'll try and keep an eye on the chat if anyone wants to say anything. And if you're watching this after the fact, when we're not live, just leave any comments in the comment section. I do try to answer all comments, even when you're telling me about the mistakes I've made. That's okay. I make mistakes. I know it. I wonder what this will do. By trimming it up from underneath, I can actually rest the safety guys are going to kill me for this one. I can actually rest the saw blade itself on the cross piece there and get a better flush trim. But I think I'm going to go from the top. I think it's easier. Kind of score the top and then go down the side, I think, is about the easiest. I'd almost be faster, I think, with using like a hacksaw or something here. I think I'm bogging it down too much. You know what? I'm gonna have to try the Dremel tool itself, because this is shouldn't really be that heavy of work. But I guess what can you expect for 10 bucks, right? So let's try the Dremel tool itself. Now that's going to get loud. I mean, I really like the fact that I could talk over that. And I might still use this later on. Because to be honest, I really like it. It's just, you know, not as heavy duty as you kind of need for this kind of work. So let's get out the Dremel tool. Actually, let me fix this first. I might actually need to put a new check in for that too. I don't have it plugged in right now. I was going to and then thought better of it. Oh yeah, so Maze Runner. Honestly, there's a larger story than they tell in the first movie, and I'm pretty sure I've heard there's a second movie coming already. But the first story all by itself, I mean, if you self-contain it without the futuristic aspect to it, it's essentially Lord of the Flies. But then again, I mean, I've said this before, you can pretty much take any story in existence now, and if you break it down far enough, you can say that it is the same story as something else. You know, if you break it down to its most basic components. So, but you know, it's the same kind of a societal structure type story as Lord of the Flies, with twists, obviously. One of those twists being that they're all in an experiment. But I think that's evident from the very beginning of the movie. Okay, now this, I know I've heard the video from last night. This is definitely going to get loud, so I'm not going to be able to talk during this, not really, and I don't think you'd want to listen to it, even if I did, because the sound of this thing just overwhelms the mic. So turn yourself down now, turning it on. So significantly faster. That little $10 one, it's nice, and I think I'll definitely have uses for it, but not for trimming wood. Not even popsicle sticks. It's just not good enough. This, way better. So I'm probably gonna do just the rest of this now. So gonna get loud again. Okay, really like that. That's what I was expecting when I was thinking that I was gonna do this. That worked well. I'm very, very happy with that. So what is this? I got a couple of trim off there too. So turn it on. Okay, yeah, definitely liking that. That's working well. I'm just keeping some of the longer pieces, put them in my my bits container here. Because I always need smaller bits. Okay. Now flip this over, and I'll do that side. I might actually reinforce the bottom just a little bit with a few popsicle sticks. Like, see, that's come apart a couple of times. I don't like that. So two pieces to go. Okay, turning it back on. There you go. I think that worked well. Wow. I am happy with that. Huh? That did what I wanted it to. Okay. I think I can get rid of the Dremel tool now. And what I'm going to do next, actually, and I'll do it right now, is I'm going to transfer the blueprint onto this. I'm going to do it in pencil. And then that way, when we start, where's my good pencil? There we go. When we start making the walls on Tuesday, 6 o'clock Tuesday night, when we start making the walls 6 o'clock Tuesday night, oh, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to take a couple of minutes and just reinforce. Actually, I should reinforce the whole thing. I think, yeah, I'm going to I gotta reinforce a bunch of this here. So I guess this is gonna turn into a longer video. I'm just going to make sure that everything stays in place where it's supposed to be. Because the last thing I want is, you know, to get 3/4 of the way through this and have something fall off. So there's actually a bunch of stuff I got to do. So if you've been watching my other videos, you'll notice that I didn't glue everywhere, and I think now I really want to. Because one of the things I can do is I can push this flat in the right places, and then I can put the glue on it, and then have it stick the whole way. Okay, so that's starting to heat up. It's just going to take a minute. So yeah, let me see. So Maze Runner plot. Plot was essentially well, there's really two plots. There's the main plot that you're aware of for pretty much most of the movie, and then there's the subplot, which is actually, if you think about it, apparent from the very beginning, because the very first scene in the whole movie is this kid riding in an elevator up, and it opens up at the top. This elevator opens up at the top, and he's in this square box. Let's say, I don't know, 200 yards by 200 yards. So, you know, that's about 4 football fields, I think. I'm kind of guessing. There's a bunch of other kids up there to meet him when he comes up. And you find out very quickly that there's this has been happening every month for the last 3 years. So, you know, I don't think you think about it, but you know that somebody's got to be doing this to them. But it doesn't really become a major part of the plot, like the immediate plot, until the very end. The rest of the movie is literally about these kids trying to survive and get along in this strange environment that they've been put in this microcosmic environment that they've been put in. And get out of this maze that they're trapped in. So yeah, that's why I say it's very much Lord of the Flies, because that's the in-your-face part of it. I mean, yeah, they're trying to get out of this place, but the main plot point, the main things that happen in the movie, the conflict that happens in the movie is very Lord of the Flies type of stuff. And then the and again, you know, subliminally, you know that this is a futuristic kind of a world because of the things that you're seeing around you. I mean, somebody built this gigantic mechanical maze that moves. Like, it's got to be, the walls have got to be 100 feet high. And the maze reconfigures itself every night. And if you're stuck in the maze while it's reconfiguring itself, you can hear things moving around out there. And they've apparently sent kids out there to their death before, based on their political structure. So was it entertaining? Yes, it was entertaining. I wouldn't call it an action movie, although there is some action in it. I'm kind of glad I didn't go see it in theaters, although I bought it for $14 at, I don't know, Target or something, and then found out that it was free on TV. So I'm not sure it was worth the $14 either. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't, you know, a great movie either. There were some plot holes. So when this new kid, the main character, the guy that you're following, your point of view character, when he first gets up to the top, you know, like you would expect, he said, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And some of these guys have been there for 3 years. So the other kid is saying to him, yes, we tried it. Yes, we tried it. Tried that twice. Everything you can think of, we've tried. But I'm not sure that's true, because partway through the movie, there are on the walls, these 100-foot high concrete walls, there are vines, and vines that these guys use for ropes. And there's something partway through the movie where they use one of these vines to hoist another guy 50 feet in the air, so that the grievers, that's what they call the things in the maze, although they had never seen them and lived by that point, so the grievers won't get him. And it looks to me, by the video that I'm watching, that the vines go all the way to the top. So if these vines are strong enough that you can hoist somebody on them 50 feet in the air. First of all, you had to climb 50 feet in the air to get the vine up there and over whatever it was, another vine that you're using to hoist this guy up, and then bring it back down, tie it around the guy, and then start hoisting him up. You climbed 50 feet in the air there. I see those vines go all the way to the top. They're strong enough to hold your weight. You can climb to the top of this freaking thing. And then you're standing on top of this maze, and then you can see exactly what the hell's going on. But no, apparently in their world you couldn't do that, even though it was pretty obvious that you could. And okay, now spoiler alert. If while this can is sitting in front of me, I am going to be giving spoilers. So if you don't want to hear a spoiler about the Maze Runner, turn off your sound, and when I take the can away, I'll stop with the spoilers. At the very end of the movie, they get out of the maze, and they get picked up by a bunch of guys with a helicopter, and they fly away, and they get to see the maze from the air the way they never had before. And actually, there's another thing on that I'll go into in just a second. All around them, it's desert. Nothing growing. Everything destroyed. In the middle of the maze that is completely surrounded by desert, that is open to the sky and all of the elements, there is forest, vines, grass, they're growing fruits and vegetables. And at one point during the movie, it actually rained on them. And I don't mean somebody spraying water, I mean overcast clouds, rain. One of these things is not like the other. So that jumped me out of the plot also. Oh, yeah. Also, right near the very end, I guess, yeah, but the only way that they showed that people get in and out of this place was by helicopter. Even if it was by truck, the guys inside would have heard it, and they never did. So, some plot holes. So, spoiler part over. So even though with the plot holes, it was an entertaining movie. You know, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $12 goodbye, or whatever the hell it is these days. Would I recommend renting it? Not if you can get it for free. If you can get it for free, I'd watch it. Would I pay money for it? I wouldn't pay more than $5 for it, I think. Now that I've seen it, I paid $14 to get it on I think it was Blu-ray. I think I got it on Blu-ray for $14. So as far as Blu-rays go, not a bad price. But I definitely got what I paid for. So I'm going to put cross braces like this over the whole thing, I think. Just to make sure everything stays where it's supposed to be. So I also watched Idiocracy last night. That was a stupid movie. Although that was a very, actually, I'm not even sure if it was thinly veiled. I'm not even sure if it was veiled at all. That was definitely a social commentary movie. At the start of the movie, they have this scene, big, fairly long scene, about how smart people, like people with average or above average IQs, specifically people with above average IQs, like high IQs, are not procreating. And actually, if you look at the statistics, it's true. I think that the more intelligent you are, the less likely you are to actually have children, which means the less likely you are to pass on your genes to a future generation. But the inverse of that is actually also true, where the lower your intelligence, the more likely you are to have a whole gaggle of kids, and oftentimes with different partners, which means you're passing on your genes really, really well, and then oftentimes leaving the kids to almost fend for themselves. You know, kids are growing up fatherless, motherless, what have you. You know, one parent or even really no parents in a lot of cases. And this movie postulates what would happen in 500 years if this trend continues. You know, so imagine a world filled with hillbilly, inner city valley girl, you know, boys from the hood kind of a thing. And then it throws sort of a time travel element into the mix, because they've got this guy, I think it's Owen Wilson that plays it. I think it is. They got this guy who's in the army and is just coasting through his life. He's like an average intelligence guy. He's not stupid, but he's just got no motivation to do anything with his life. And he gets he's in the military, and he becomes part of this experiment to see if they can cryo freeze soldiers, and they're using him because he's expendable. Him and a local prostitute, because they couldn't find any women in the army who were willing to try the experiment. And they cryogenically freeze him, and he's supposed to come out in a year, but something happens and he doesn't come out for 500 years. And he wakes up in this world where essentially everyone's an idiot. And it follows his exploits of trying to get back to the past, because there were still some smart people in the past. Apparently I'm not one of them, because I put the upper popsicle stick down before I got the stuff underneath it. That was dumb. So for what was it? So it was a dumb movie, but then again, it didn't pretend to be anything other than a dumb movie. So, you know, you definitely kind of got what you, in fact, the title kind of says it all: Idiocracy. So it definitely delivered on what it promised. It was absolutely mindless entertainment. So if you're looking for high drama, that was not it. But all in all, it was free, so it was definitely worth the money. Glad I didn't pay for it. And I guess I've kind of said that a few times, like, you know, glad I didn't pay for something, or wish I hadn't paid for something. I definitely understand the value of paying for things. Long time ago, when torrenting first came out, I actually did download a number of movies, mostly TV shows, but also a number of movies. And I watched them without paying for them. But I've since gone back and actually bought the ones that I liked on DVD, because I realized something along the way, and this is something that everybody needs to realize. I was watching all of the shows, TV shows, and movies that I liked. TV shows specifically, but movies also. The TV shows would get canceled, after a season, 2, 3 seasons, whatever it was. And then the movies would, not do well at the box office, and never get a sequel. And these are things that I enjoyed. I really, thought they were good entertainment. And then I saw a statistic one time. I can't remember which one it was, but one of my favorite TV shows was dubbed the most downloaded movie of all times, or TV show of all times. And what that means is people were getting it either without paying for the subscription or without watching the commercials. And either the subscription or the commercials, one of the two, is what pays the actors and all of the people that make the show. And let's face it, other than people like me on YouTube who have this kind of production quality, nobody does this stuff for free. Nobody can afford to do this stuff for free. The only reason I can afford to do it for free is because I've got another job. And, with me, you're getting this kind of quality. And let's face it, that just wouldn't cut it on widespread TV. So the people that make these things have to get paid. And they have to get paid either through subscriptions or through advertising or through selling the DVDs or what have you. I mean, there's all kinds of different schemes for how they get paid. But if you pirate a show, you're not paying for it, which means the people who made it aren't making any money off it. And that is the only reason why anything gets made, is because people are making money off of it. You cannot expect actors to starve themselves to death while they make entertainment for you. You just can't. So I came to the conclusion that if I wanted my favorite TV shows to stop being canceled, and if I wanted my favorite movies to get sequels so I could see more of them or more things like them, I had to pay for it. And if I didn't pay for it, they weren't going to make it. So I stopped downloading things. And I went back, and everything that I downloaded that I enjoyed, I bought the video or the Blu-ray or what have you. Not for any real altruistic reason. but simply because I wanted it to continue being made, because I wanted to see more of it. And I would say the same thing to you guys. If you like something, especially if you've downloaded it and you like it and you want to see more of it, you're not if you don't buy it. If you download it, you're not going to see more of it. And do not for 1 second expect that, oh, well, enough other people will buy it that I'll just be able to get it for free, because it's not going to happen. Enough other people will download it so that it'll get canceled and you won't have the show or the movie that you like. But then again, I like the more intelligent things. I'm a real big Alan Sorkin fan. So this goes back to what we were talking about yesterday about my my biases. I like intelligent shows. I think just about everything Alan Sorkin's ever done, I've loved. West Wing, probably one of my favorite shows ever. Newsroom was absolutely incredible. And he's done a couple of other ones like that too. Studio 554 on the Sunset Strip or something like that. The number's probably wrong, but that was very cool. You know, funny and intelligent shows. Boston Legal, another fantastic show. I think James Spader was wonderful in it. Bill Shatner was the comic relief. Wow. Bill Shatner, interesting guy, had a good career, like a really good career. Obviously, he's Star Trek, which, you know, one of my favorite genres really of all time. So like that. He's had a great career. Like after Star Trek ended, he went to what was that cop show? He played a cop. Can't remember what it was called. Then he had a bunch of other things after that, including Tech War, which actually Tech War I really like too. And then Boston Legal. Oh, he's all kinds of stuff. He's had a really good career. Not really one of my favorite actors, but he's been in a lot of things that I've really liked. Was it T.J. Hooker? Was that the cop show? Other shows that I like. NCIS. I like every incarnation of NCIS that's ever been made. I watch them all religiously. Game of Thrones. Big Game of Thrones fan. As I said before, I like almost all of the superhero ones. I wasn't a fan of Heroes. I tried the Tomorrow People and just couldn't get into it. Watch City of Bones. I actually know one of the guys in that, Rob Maillet. Probably one of my best friends in the world is good friends with him. Bubbles, you know who you are. Like a lot of the stuff he's done. City of Bones, I liked. He's been in a lot of things too. Sherlock Holmes, he was in. He did a good job there. He played Dredger. He's now in The Strain, which I can't watch. Well, you know what? Here's where I have to be totally honest. I haven't watched it because I've seen the previews for it, and it looks like something that I would not be able to watch. It looks like a little too horror-y, a little too gross. And every single time I have gone against my initial thoughts on stuff like that, I have regretted it. I have come to realize that my initial judgments are pretty accurate. On whether or not I like something, I can base on the trailers essentially that come out, because the trailers are meant to exemplify what the show is about. At least, if whoever's making the trailer does a good job, because I'm pretty sure it's not the directors that make the trailers for these things. I'm pretty sure it's the PR departments. They're pretty good at saying this is what the movie is about, and I'm pretty good at understanding that from the trailer and saying, yeah, no, I'm not going to like that. And literally every time I have gone against that first judgment, I've regretted it. No Country for Old Men is one of those. A buddy of mine went out and got it, and I said, no, this isn't going to be good. But I watched it anyway because he and his wife had invited us over, and he wanted to watch it, so I watched it. And oh my God, it was bad. So so I haven't watched The Strain yet. Maybe I should watch it. I mean, because let's face it, Rob's a good actor. I like the stuff that he's done. And I definitely want to support him because he's also a hometown boy. I'm from New Brunswick, and so is Rob, and so is Richard now, I guess. So definitely like supporting people I know. Definitely want to do that. Let me see. What else? I'm just kind of rambling now. Nobody's asking questions. I know people are there. I can see you. They have this little thing that shows me. So hopefully Monday night, Barnacules and I are going to go out and see Pixels. I'm hearing that it's gotten bad reviews, but like I said, I never pay attention to bad reviews. Here's what I'm expecting from that film. First of all, I am not an Adam Sandler fan. I've hated almost everything that he's done. His brand of humor just leaves me cold. But I say almost everything he's ever done because I just have this feeling in the back of my head that there was something that he did that I actually enjoyed one time. And I can't remember what it was. But this has Peter Dinklage in it too. And I think Peter Dinklage is a fantastic actor. Everything I've seen from him so far, he's able to play different things quite well, and I like that. And honestly, what I'm expecting from this is a stupid 80s video game romp, and literally nothing more than that. So if I get that, I will be happy, right? And that's what we talked about yesterday. You go into something expecting one thing and you don't get it, you won't be happy. Well, if I get a stupid 80s video game romp, I will be happy. In general, those aren't, well, I mean, stupid comedies are not what I enjoy in general. But I am very much a child of the 80s and a child of 80s video games specifically. Like I said, I started programming in 1979. And that was because of Space Invaders, actually. Space Invaders was the first game I ever saw. And I played a lot of that. And then I think after Space Invaders, the next game that I played most was Pac-Man. And that was right around the time when the consoles really started coming out. I mean, there were a couple of, you know, the really, really old Pong consoles that were out before that, but it was like 77, I think, time frame when the consoles, like the Atari 2600, really first started coming out. And I remember that. I was too poor to have one at the time. I never owned an Atari console. When I was 16, I moved in with my dad. Yes, I come from a broken home. When I was 16, I moved in with my dad, and he had more money. He owned his own business. Worked like a dog, but had money. And he bought a ColecoVision. And, you know, at the stores, I had used, and a couple of friends of mine had 2600s, so I played a little bit of that. And I had used Activisions, and then I had a ColecoVision because my dad bought one for my sister and I. I can't say he bought it for himself because pretty sure he never played it. So, you know, I grew up on that stuff. I played a lot of Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision. And these are all things that are in pixels. So I'm expecting, you know, it's going to be a trip down memory lane for me. I remember, holy Lord, where I was, we didn't get Pac-Man. We got its cheap knockoff, Puck-Man. I was in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada at the time. And I learned the patterns. And I got up to, yeah, there were really two patterns. There was one pattern, Jesus, hard to remember. There was one pattern that took you up to a certain level. I think it was like the apple stage. And then another pattern which you had to use after that. And it just kept being the same pattern after that. It's just the timings got harder and harder, very far less forgiving. I cannot tell you how many quarters I spent on that. And then actually, Gauntlet was another one. I don't know when that came out, but I'm pretty sure I left home by the time it came out, joined the Army, and maybe even was out of the Army. I can't remember. Pretty sure Gauntlet came out way later. I could be wrong. At least I think I found it way later. That was another big one. So, yeah, long story short, I definitely think I'm going to like it. Just because it's a romp down memory lane for me. So what else can we talk about? I definitely know there are people there. I guess no one wants to talk. All right. I'll talk more. I don't know what I'll talk about, though. I guess I'm becoming one of those guys who can just ramble on about nothing for hours and hours on end. So, even though no one's talking now, if you're listening to this and you're actually hearing me right now, like even after the fact, put something in the comments just to say, hey, Rob, I'm listening to you. Just so I know that people are actually hearing what I'm saying. I'm just wondering if it's useful to keep rambling on like this. Or maybe you guys don't want to listen to me, and you just want to see this popsicle stick mansion come together. And if you do, that's okay too. No, to each his own. I'm a live and let live kind of guy. I did a couple of those online tests, what superhero would you be and stuff like that. Well, I did this morning. I did 2 of them. I did what branch of the military do you belong in? Well, that's easy for me because I'm ex-military, and I come from 1 RCR. That's my my unit, my regimental affiliation. And once you have a regimental affiliation in Canada, you never lose it. So I'm 1 RCR, retired. And 1 RCR, like in Canada, they only really have 3 branches, sort of 4, but 3 branches of the military. There's Army, Navy, and Air Force. And I say sort of 4 because there is also airborne. They're Army, but they're Army that are paratroopers. They jump out of planes. Never did that. Not because I'm afraid to jump out of planes. I've done civilian, I've done those tandem jumps, civilian style. And honestly, I didn't enjoy it. I was not afraid of it at all. But when I was falling, the wind is going by you so fast, and they have these really flimsy goggles on you. They're basically like almost like this kind of plastic, almost. Fairly flexible. And the wind is going by you so fast, it's uncomfortable. So while we were falling, I was uncomfortable. And then when we were under canopy, I get motion sick, more so than I did when I was younger. It's happening a lot more now. But so I was nauseous when we were under canopy. So all in all, I didn't have a good time. But that's not why I didn't join the airborne when I was in. I didn't join the airborne when I was in because while they were highly trained, and they were definitely a good force of soldiers, and for the most part pretty strong, they were also for the most part a bunch of idiots. Not all of them. There were some really good guys there. In fact, some guys that I really admire came out of the airborne. In fact, one of the ones that taught me in battle school was at the time Master Corporal George Laidlaw, probably my military hero. He ended up being a warrant officer last time I knew him, which is fairly high up in the senior NCO ranks. There's only really 2 ranks above that. in the senior NCO ranks. Master, warrant officer, and chief warrant officer. But you know, and there was also Rob Very. He was sergeant when I knew him. Very good man. But on average, they had a bunch of thugs and idiots in there. It was a gang mentality in there, and that just doesn't work in the military. I am sorry. I came out of, like I said, I came out of 1 RCR, and 1 RCR in my estimation, and actually 2 PPCLI, or well, the RCR and the PPCLI are the main English regiments, infantry regiments in Canada. Very good regiments. And they were disciplined. At least, well, 1 RCR, I was in 1 RCR, and I know for a fact it was disciplined, which is what I expect out of a military. And 1 RCR was also part of, I think it was called ACE Defense Force. And ACE Defense Force was basically the quick reaction NATO force. Pretty sure I get the name right. And we were the special warfare trained battalion. So we trained in mountain ops, we trained in winter ops, we trained in desert ops, we trained in amphibious ops, we trained both mounted and dismounted. So both heavy and light infantry. We pretty much did it all. We were the guys, and I had my recce course. I never went to recce platoon because, again, well, I never went to recce platoon mostly because they didn't like me, but they didn't like me because I didn't like them. They were another bunch of, well, again, for the most part, I can't say for everyone because there were still some good ones, but they were very, very gung-ho, and very, very opinionated, and very intolerant. And I'll be honest, I was probably the same way. I just clashed with them. So I was never there. And, you know, I got my qualification and I liked the job. I just didn't like the people that were in it, and they didn't like me. So, but good unit. I was in anti-armor platoon for a while as a tow missile driver. Well, I was an M113 driver with a mounted tow missile. Tow is tactically operated, wire guided. One of my best friends, actually, Chris Tulipano, he was a gunner. That was a lot of fun. We were often out in front of the battalion, off looking for tanks to kill. I was mortar qualified, 81 millimeter mortar qualified. That was fun, but I mean, you tended to be back behind everybody else. I mean, just the nature of mortars, right? And not really the place of the life for me. I just didn't like that kind of thing. Pioneer qualified, which means I was trained in combat construction and combat explosives, so construction and destruction. Enjoyed that a lot. I was involved, I think, in just about almost every major conflict that Canada was involved with between 87 and 98. I was in the first Gulf War. I was in Croatia, Yugoslavia, Norway, Denmark. Those were training exercises. I wasn't in Somalia. I didn't get to Somalia. And in the end, I guess I'm glad that I didn't, because that's where the airborne really got themselves into hot water. That's where a couple of guys that I knew were part of that group that had tortured and I think maybe killed a guy in custody. And that shit ain't on. I mean, I don't care how upset you are. And let's face it, war is fucking tough. You still don't do that. I mean, we're taught from day one you don't do that. And that's part of, I mean, I expected it out of a lot of those guys. Not a couple of the guys that were actually involved in it, because I knew them and liked them. But out of the regiment as a whole, I expected it. That still doesn't make it right. But yeah, so they got themselves into a lot of hot water there. So anyway, I did this this online test. What branch of the military should you be in? And it was an American test, so they had all American branches, and it put me in the Marines, which stands to reason, because everything that it said that the Marines do is exactly what I did when I was in the Army. So it worked well on that. But then the next thing was, it said, can we guess your age by your answers to these political questions? So they asked a bunch of different questions about, you know, gay rights and loss of freedom for stability or for security and stuff like that. And it put me at 62. Said your age by your answers is 62. Yeah, you're a little off there. I call myself a small c conservative. I'm a fiscal conservative. At least in Canada, that's what I call myself. Down here, I know that the Conservative Party is the Republican Party, but I just can't get behind them. I can't get behind the Democrats either. There, political commentary from the popsicle stick guy. There's what you wanted. You don't have to listen to this if you don't want to. I'm just rambling. I would more call myself, down here, I'd call myself a libertarian. Less government. Stay out of our lives. You know, I mean, as government's there for a reason. Don't get me wrong. Government is absolutely useful. There are people out there who would do bad things if there weren't regulations telling them that they had to do good things. And I think that government is good for that. It's the definition of what's bad and good that is difficult to get across. I come from Canada, so I am very experienced in socialized medicine. And if you want to hold Canada up as the pinnacle of socialized medicine, you're wrong. Well, it might be the pinnacle of socialized medicine, but it is not something you should aspire to. In Canada, each of the provinces have average wait time calculators, counters, for different types of medical procedures. Wait times for emergency rooms are 6 to 36 hours when you walk into an emergency room. Wait times for necessary medical procedures range in the 18+ month range. Yeah, it's free if you ever get it. You know, I understand that some people can't afford medical care. But in Canada, because everybody believes that medical care is free, first of all, it's not by any stretch of the imagination. My tax rate in Canada was more than double what it is here in the United States. Like, you are paying for it. Oh, I think I'm not 100% positive. I'm very close. It's around the 50% mark. I think it's 52% of every tax dollar in Ontario, Canada, I think it's the largest province in Canada. 52% of every tax dollar goes towards healthcare. And you still have these stupid wait times. Now, take the taxes. Look at your W-2 from last year. Look at how much taxes that you paid. And more than double that, let's say 2.5 times. Take whatever you paid, multiply that by 2.5. That's what you would be paying in taxes in Canada. And ask yourself this: A, can you afford to pay that much more taxes? And B, if you took that money right now and put it into an insurance plan, what kind of insurance could you get? Socialized medicine is not free. Oh, wow, that is much more stiff. That's really helped it. Wow. Like, that's done a good job. I'm gonna flip that one more time, I think. So there you go. Political commentary from the popsicle stick guy. You may not have wanted that. So I guess I've just proven that I'm willing to talk about most subjects. I'm stupid that way. You heard me say earlier, opinionated and intolerant. I've actually, thank God, I've grown far more tolerant since I left the military. I've realized that I was wrong back then. Because, you know, I mean, I can blame it on the culture. It was definitely part of the culture back then, but I allowed it. You know, I allowed myself to think that way. So it's, you know, I have to take responsibility for that. I can't just blame the Army. Geez, even some of my friends watching this might be learning some things about me. These are things that I've never shared with anybody except my wife, really, or the people that were there at the time who saw it happening and knew what was going on. Oh yeah, that's way more stiff. That's great. Yeah, it's coming together nicely. So apparently, according to these tests, I'm a 62-year-old Marine. And I don't know what, well, I guess everybody's different, but most of the guys I knew back when I was in the Army, these guys in peak physical shape. But the vast majority of us, once we get out of the Army, we kind of stopped doing anything physical. Not everybody. I mean, I've learned over the years not to generalize because there's, well, I mean, I still generalize, but I know that there are exceptions. But there are definitely some guys that break that rule. But as a general rule, everyone that I was in the Army with stopped all the physical activity. So actually, if any of my old, any of the guys from my old unit are watching this, you might be surprised to realize how self-aware that I was. I knew I was making mistakes back there. I knew that I wasn't really fitting in. Sometimes I cared. A lot of times I didn't. Because while there were certainly really good guys back there, like really good guys I still look up to today. Sergeant Major Hickson, one of them, still look up to him today. George Laidlaw, another guy, still look up to him today. Rob Very, I've said that name before. Some other ones, some really good ones. Well, I still look up to a lot of them. A lot of them were assholes, like real assholes. Like mean for no good reason. I remember this one time we were getting ready for a biathlon competition in Norway, and there was this guy, can't remember his name, I can see his face still. He was a master corporal. I was a private at the time, so he was in charge. But he just took it upon himself to start ridiculing me in front of everyone else. And using his position as a master corporal, superior in rank to me, to shield himself. We were walking back from, I think it was from Chow, from the mess hall. And he started in on me. I dropped my skis, I turned around, and I was ready to kill this guy. I really was. Would have gotten myself in a lot of trouble. Somebody stopped me, I can't remember who. Probably saved me from going to jail too, but this guy really deserved it. God, I can't remember what his name was. There's also another guy from Recce that really deserved it too. Him I couldn't have beaten. The first guy, the guy on the ski team, I could have beaten him easily. The second guy, it was Rick something or other. Not Rick Hills. Rick Hills he was good sometimes and not so good other times. He fluctuated a lot. But no, it was somebody else. It was another Rick, though. Guy actually went after my girlfriend at one point. He was another one. He was a master corporal while I was a private, and he used his position abused his position. Yeah, I couldn't have beaten him. He could have probably, well, at least at the time. I got into martial arts later on. I got Jesus. I second degree black belt in Kempo karate, second degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, and a third degree black belt in hapkido. And that's about the time I really started getting confidence and really started taking these guys to task for the things that they were doing. I was also a corporal or a master corporal myself at the time too, so I mean that helped a lot. Having the rank is a big deal. But there were definitely some guys in the unit I would have walked through hell and back for. Most of my sergeant majors were like that, except there was one at the very end, the last sergeant major that I ever had. I started out, I adored this guy. But the last time we went to Yugoslavia, I had this 19-year-old lieutenant. I had been in the Army 12 years at the time, but he might have been in the Army 15 years. This guy was 19 years old and just transferred over from the reserves, and he was a moron, an absolute moron, but he was in charge of us. Wouldn't listen to anyone. I had a great platoon warrant officer at the time, Ambrose Penton. Fantastic warrant officer. That's another guy I would have walked through hell and back for. But he got repatted with a bad back about halfway through the tour, and he was replaced with a sergeant who was trying to make warrant officer, and this guy was just a yes man. So he did whatever that stupid lieutenant wanted him to do. Followed him. It was just yeah. It was terrible. Sergeants, the platoon warrant officer is supposed to be there as the voice of experience for young platoon commanders who honestly don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, you know, for the first year especially. But this guy was not that. I had another platoon warrant officer once. We were on, we were doing our dozer course, I think. So M113 dozer operator course. And we had this guy. Have you ever heard the old adage, the beatings will continue until morale improves? Well, this guy literally said almost exactly that. He took us out for a run one morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning, pitch black. And he ran us through the field. And the field was uneven. And guys were getting caught in, you know, their feet caught in ruts and twisting ankles and stuff like that. So the guys started slowing down to avoid physical injury. And this guy kept on us and on us, keep up, faster, 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 faster. And we basically just stopped listening to him. And that morning, just after our breakfast, we have a parade every morning, and he actually said to us on parade, these runs will continue until morale improves. So essentially saying the beatings will continue until morale improves. Like, I mean, it was a freaking cliche. It was that bad. He had a warrant officer at the time. He was like 30 plus years in. Bucky Buchanan was his name. I don't know if Bucky was his real name, but Warrant Officer Buchanan. There's a guy I would have gone through hell and back for. He says, "Sir, can I see you out back for a moment?" We were in Ipperwash, Canada. These two guys walk out behind the H hut. Warrant officer walks back out and says, "The officer won't be rejoining us today." And I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'd heard stories like that before, but I had never witnessed it myself. He was, Warrant Officer Buchanan was definitely an old school warrant officer, and definitely took the job of taking care of the men to heart. And he definitely earned every one of our respect that day. Because if that officer had wanted to continue what he was doing, there's nothing we could do about it. That's one of the things about being in the Army. You, contrary to what a lot of the for some reason, my broadcast muted both the microphone and the video all on its own. I have no idea why. That's really weird. Luckily, it gave a little. I heard a little tink when it happened, so I looked over to find out what the hell was going on. Otherwise, you'd still be looking at a black screen and not hearing nothing. Of course, then again, maybe that's what you want. Maybe you guys are tired of listening to me ramble. So right now, I'm just trying to reinforce this side just a little bit because I think it bends a little too much on its own. So if you want me to keep my comments to just talking about the popsicle sticks, I can do that too. I'm sure popsicle sticks will probably be a lot less controversial than some of the other stuff I'm saying. I wonder if we're at the 2-hour mark again. What time is it? 1:55. We're at the 2-hour mark again. I will bet you 10-1 Comcast throttled my my feed again. It happens every time at the 2-hour mark. Or, you know, close to it. That was almost a burn. I felt it quick enough that it didn't go, ow. Now, another thing I think I want to do this. And actually, I think I need to do the same thing down there. I just need to cross a couple of these to make sure that, oh, and there too, yeah. Here, and both of these, I think, and here, maybe here too. I just need to cross these to make sure that they're going to stay together, because I think that's where a lot of pressure tension is going to come from. That's what I'll do right there. That would be my wife. Give me a few minutes, guys. Hi, honey. Good, how are you? What's up? Oh, yeah. What are you doing with all the crystals? Okay.
Yeah, it's because she has the same fashion sense as Omi.
Right. Oh yeah. Did Richard get a hold of you? Did he get a hold of you at all today? Yeah, he was wondering if there was no bid for it. No, I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure. Right. No, that I did. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we're no. Say hi, bye. Tell her I'm talking about her on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, I did. I'm out of the room right now, but I was talking about her on YouTube. Yes, lots of issues. I was just telling everybody on YouTube about you. Yes. Yes, that you're never gonna watch it, right? Oh well, then if you're never gonna watch it, yes, it's all good. Oh, fine. We're not going to be done in time, but what can you do? We'll get as much done as we can. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I will. I've been in the garage pretty much the whole time you've been gone. Yeah. Yes, I do. Prove Mom wrong about what? Okay. Hold on. I'm going to put you on speaker so everyone on the internet is going to be able to hear you now because I'm back in the garage. Okay, you're on speaker now. Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Okay, what do we got here? We have a little leopard. We have a big brown monkey. We have a little tiny white monkey that has a little bit of gray in it. I have a long white tail. I have a rabbit, a puppy. Keep going. I have a German Shepherd. German Shepherd. I have a lion. Yes. I have a big leopard. I have another little tiger. I have a cat. I have a big white monkey wearing a crocheted shawl. It's a shirt, not a shawl, but okay. Okay. I think I've got a little monkey that almost looks like it's holding on to something with a very long white tail. So. Yes, can you take a picture of it, please, and send it to me? Because I'm waiting for it to go off. Okay. Hold on. Rob? Yes? You're on my shit list. Why? Because I'm right. She was absolutely adamant of the monkey this year, and I'm like, no, I have a German one at home. Well, let me just look at it for a second here. There's a tag on it. It says Japan. No, this one's Japan. Okay, well, take a picture of it. Right here. Yeah, I'll text it to you right now, and you tell me if it's the right one. Okay. It's right in the front, so I knew we had it. I suppose I'll just go through Outlook. I couldn't figure out how to do it, so it sent it an email now. Let me look and see what else there is here. It's a seal. I think that's the only other monkey that's in there. Bunch of bears. Is that it? Okay. You're welcome, dear. All right, I'll let you guys go now.
All right, you have fun. I love you, and have a great night.
Love you too. Bye. Okay, so if you're still listening, you probably heard all that. I'm just putting stuffed animals back in a bag now, and I'll be back over in just a second. This is my wife's stuffed animal bag from when she was a kid. It's a lot of stuffed animals. Ta-da. Okay. We are back now. And I have no idea what I was talking about, so on to something new. Sun's coming back out. It was actually a rainy day here in Seattle, which has been very unusual this year. This year has been absolutely gorgeous. All those people that say Seattle is the rainiest place in the world, they're very wrong. When my wife and I were first coming here, I looked up how rainy Seattle actually is on, the 40 rainiest cities in North America, or 50, whatever it was, and Seattle was number 40. Like New York has more rain. Accumulation. In number of inches of rain or precipitation that falls, New York gets far more precipitation every year than Seattle does. Far more accumulation. In days of rain, Seattle actually is higher on the list. But a day of rain basically means a day that has clouds, really. And while there apparently used to be a lot of overcast days in Seattle, there haven't been so much this year, or last year even. And what people think of as rainy days, it's true that in the winter there are a lot of rainy days. But where I come from on the East Coast, like an hour northeast of Maine, I lived, or of Bangor, Maine. I lived for years. And most recently, I was like 3 hours north of Syracuse, New York, just above upstate New York. We would get rain in the summer, but in the winter, we would get snow. Lots and lots of snow. In fact, the last 2 years, they called it Snowmageddon. They've gotten so much snow and cold up there. And yeah, I'm glad not to be part of that anymore. So here in Seattle, you know, there definitely are overcast days. Fair number of overcast days. But it's nothing compared to having to deal with that snow. There was last year, in fact, several years over the past decade, there have been snow accumulations over 12, 14 feet. Like, it's stupid. So I will take Seattle every freaking day of the week. Two more, and then I think I'm done here. Just to make sure that these things stay on. There we go. So I think I'm done with glue and popsicle sticks for right now. And the next thing I have to do, I have to clean off the whole table because the next thing I really want to do is draw the blueprints onto the actual wood so that it's easier to put the walls up starting on Tuesday night. So my wife was just asking me what I've been doing since she's been down in Florida. And I kind of told her, yeah, you can. Oh, wow, gone through a lot of that. Probably going to go through a lot more too. I'm going to have to buy more of those. And I pretty much told her, oh, wow, look at that. Isn't that nice? I like it. Oh, that is nice. Very happy with that. Cool. So I pretty much told her, yeah, you can go onto the internet, onto YouTube, and see exactly what I've been doing pretty much the entire time you've been gone. Because I think I've been on YouTube for, oh, actually, yeah, I meant to say, when we started this video, we were at 14 hours. And I've been on YouTube for about 10 or 14 of those hours. Well, maybe not 14, but I've been on YouTube for a lot recently. What I'm going to do, I actually have to push the whole grid that way a little bit because, I mean, as you can see, it hangs off the table on both sides here. And I need to get the grid up so that I can get my measurements. There we go. That'll let me get my measurements down now. What did I do with it? I do this all the time. I had that square in my hand a second ago. And I've just been in this area. I haven't gone anywhere else. Oh, there it is. I'll bring that whole thing back here, actually. I lose stuff easily. So, need the square. Now, got to figure out where things are. So, okay, so that's actually the extent of the garage. It actually goes right down here. Now, so this is the whole thing. So that's the garage. That's what I just did there. Now, there is a 10 by 10 room, which is 5 inches from there. So 10 to 5. So that's where the edge of that wall comes to. Now, it's a 10 by 10, which means it's going to come up to here. So there's our laundry room. Oh, wow, look at that. I'm going to have to get that stuck down better. Okay, so now I want the door. The door's got to be 3 feet, which is 1.5 inches. Which leaves 7 feet. So 4 and 3. So let's go 1.5 inches up from here, there, and then another 1.5 inches up from here. And that will leave that is our door there into our laundry room. And our laundry room is going to have a window here and a window here. Have the most amount of window space possible. And our we'll come up 1 inch here, and then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's one door. And I'll do the same thing from this side. I'll come up 1 inch, and then 4. That's another door. And that leaves us so 7.5 inches. If I take away 4, that's 3.5 inches. So I'll go 2 inches there, and then 4 inches there. Gives me another 8-foot door there, and gives me 1.5 inches. Excellent. So, what did I do wrong here? Okay, so door here. 4. There we go. Door here. Door here. And then we want 2 windows back here. Let's come in 1.5 inches. Get 2, let's go 3 feet. Leave 1 foot. 2, 3 feet. There we go. 2 windows there. And we'll get 3 windows across the back. 4 windows across the back, I think. So we'll come up 2 inches. We'll have 1, 2, 3. Go 1, 2 inches. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll do the same thing from the opposite side, just to keep it all even. So 2 inches, 1.5 inches there. There we go. 4 windows across the back. And I'm going to put a little window in here. There we go. And the door here will be 3 feet. Oh, no, not there. We got to leave. Leave 1 foot. There we go. That's what it is. And then the 3 feet. There we go. So there's our door there. And no, shoot. There. 1, 2, 3 goes to there. That. Gotta erase that. There we go. Now, I need 2.5 inches from here to make that right. Inches from here. How does it get so far off? That's weird. Obviously, drafting is not my strong suit. Okay. Now, there we go. Now that's going to come up 15 feet, which is 7.5 inches. Which comes up to there. And that's going to be the same thing. That's going to be 1/2 inch on each side. There we go. Now, 12 feet is 6 inches. That's perfect. Right there. And then another 1.5 inches after that. Puts that right there. Okay, so the whole thing is going to get squared off of this corridor now. That corridor is going to be my square reference. So that puts this at crap. That's not right. It's actually crap. Although there's going to be a closet in here. It's not going to be a 1-foot closet though. Okay, so it's actually 6.5 inches. Because the room itself, yeah. Now, the room itself doesn't start half an inch. These things aren't half an inch, why are they? No. Excuse me. Okay. So that should be. Ah, and I did it there too. Crap. Okay, well, this room is 11 by 12 feet wide. Is it? No, it's not. I'm gonna change the whole thing. There's not actually that much to change. So this should have been 6.5 inches up from here, which is up to there. Then that leaves another 3 feet, which is 1.5 inches to there. Which then needs another. So that means that that wall is going to start there. And then there's 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. So that means that this wall comes down here. So that leaves that as a 5-foot corridor, which will allow me to put a wall here. Now this is 5 by 5, so that's 2.5 inches there. That will go in 1/2 inch there. Go over 1, 2, 3, and in 1/2 inch there. And that's our bathroom, 5 by 5. And we can put our doors 1/2 inch. 1, 2, 3 to 2 inches. There we go. Same thing on this side. Doors go 1/2 inch, 2 inches there. There we go. There are doors, and there's 2 12 by 12 bedrooms, 5 by 5. Bathroom in the middle. It gets us to there. Now I need a 4 by 12 pantry, which is to there. And this will have a 2-foot sliding door in it. Figuring out how to make a sliding door out of popsicle sticks, that's going to be fun. And there will be another door in here somewhere. I'd say 3 feet up, 4 feet up, 4 feet up. And then we have a 3-foot also sliding door. just slightly bigger. There we go. Now we are into the kitchen. Now, kitchen, we need 3 feet here. This is 35 by 21, so 18. So 18 inches up here. Sorry, 9 inches up, which is 18 feet. There we go. Inch and a half. And these will be the stairs up. There we go. Then give us another 3 feet here. Now, haha, that was off of the back wall. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're actually going to make this. I was not perfectly square when I did this. Well, I tell you, the freaking interior walls are going to be square. There we go. There we go. Stairs up there. And another 5 by 5 bathroom back here. Actually, you know what? I'll make a 4 by 4 because it'll be a half bath. And that we will get into right here. Now it's a 4 by 4, which means it needs, yeah, I'm going to give it a 3-foot door, but it means it gets a 1/4 inch on either side, which means 1 foot. Gives it a 3-foot door there. There we go. And that's our outdoor kitchen. And there is another door. Let's bring it a foot 3 feet in and make it 3 feet wide. So that's our interior door that goes to the exterior kitchen. So this is our exterior kitchen. This is going to be a full wall. This is actually going to be it's going to be 1 inch of wall on either side here, which is 2 feet, and then the rest of this is just completely open to the outside. This is going to be a whole wall of glass that will slide down. In fact, I need to figure out how to make sliding glass doors, and this is going to be sliding glass doors all the way down too. So this will open up, you know, to here, kind of a thing. So there will be glass, permanent glass here and here, but the rest of this will open, and that will open, and it'll be completely open to the outside. So that's that. Now we want a 3-foot corridor here, which is 1.5 inches. There, and then that should be parallel there. Let me just double check that. Interesting. I don't know whether it's me or what, but I'm not sure that this thing, not sure that the inch scales on each side of this is the same on both sides. Now, yeah, that's about good there. So that's just a corridor coming up to the kitchen. It'll be open on this side. So this is kind of just a wall. I think the dining room set will probably be there or something kind of thing. And then that leaves 3-ish, 3 to 4 feet there to get through there. So there you go. Interior kitchen. 2 spare bedrooms. That's the laundry room. This is kind of just a little storage room kind of a thing. There's actually another closet, pantry sort of. So this is a pantry here, and there's a closet storage room area here too. Which is 5 by 10. There we go. That, bring it 2 feet in and make it a 3-foot door. Here we go. Then this gives us our 10 by 10 foot foyer. Which means right there. There's not actually a wall here. There we go. But there is a wall here. And there'll be big double doors right there. You walk into the foyer, there's sitting area. So it's a 10 by 10 foot foyer. Oh, yeah. Actually, so that's interesting. What did I do wrong there? So, okay. So to make it symmetrical inside, I think I know what it is. It's actually 14, but so I'm going to bring, I might actually put a bit of an extra porch out here. I might put another floor area in there because I actually have to bring this back a little. That's interesting. I could have sworn I just put a, oh no, right, yeah, okay. So 5 inches, we'll put it there, which means that you actually have a wall across here. And our double doors, it'll be 6 foot doors now. So that's 3 out of 5 inches, which means 1 inch on this side. And 1 inch on this side. And then there will be 2 3 foot doors, double opening doors. There you go. Big entryway. And yeah, I'm pretty certain I'm going to put another here and make it a covered porch, I think. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So a little bit more on the floor out there. So that's our 10 by 10 there, which allows this now to be a 12 by 12. Yeah, which is what I wanted. And this will be 6 foot French doors, which means 3 inches out of 6. So that's 1.5 inches on either side. And that leaves us so 6 foot French doors there. And I think I'm done enough on this side that I should turn it around. Oh, I like how stiff that is. And no, I am not going to make any of those jokes. This is a family show. It's supposed to be there. You know what? I might just do that anyway. Pull it back to there. Which means, there we go. Which means I've got to change the door. Instead of making that a 12 by 12, it's a 12 by 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 inches. Sorry, 4 feet. It's 2 inches, so that's 1 inch on either side. So that's to here. And there, and that should make that. No, it should be only 3 inches. What am I doing wrong? Not a half inch? Oh, it's gonna be 1 inch. 1 inch to there. 1 inch to there. There we go. There we go. That does it. Okay, 10 by 12. Now, yeah, that kind of fixes that actually. Let me see what this does now. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'm making this slightly off of square now, but I want it to all line up. So that's the edge of our great room right there. So that is a big great room right there. So the foyer comes right into the great room. The library / wife's office is there. Some sort of a coat room, storage room, something there. I don't know. Maybe we'll change that. I don't know. That's your laundry room there. Got bedroom, bathroom, bedroom, pantry, kitchen, powder room, bathroom, stairs going up, outdoor kitchen. So now we come, I'm going to turn this around this way now. So we want I think that's a 3 foot wide door. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check the width of that hallway that's there just to make sure I got the right dimension. I'm making my doors 36 inches, which is right, 3 feet. And the stairs going up in this place are also 36 inches. So small corridors can be 3 feet, 36 inches. So we're good. So that's what we do here now. So this is going to be a small corridor. It's going to be so it's going to be 3 feet wide. How long is it exactly? So this is supposed to be, well, let's look at it. This is It's 24. Jesus. 26 feet wide. That is 26 feet wide. Yeah, I made that wider. That was there. So you know what? I'm gonna make that wall's gonna come down here. So that's the bedroom. Now I need to put 2 walk-in closets here and a corridor between them and a corridor down here. So, well, first of all, 1.5 inches. So it's a small corridor getting into here. Now that makes this 12 inches, which is 24 feet. I need to take 3 feet off for the corridor, which leaves 21 feet. If I make my closet 7 feet wide, 7 feet becomes how long the corridor has to be, which is 3.5 inches. 3.5 right there. So the corridor comes down to there, 3.5 inches. Do the same thing here. There we go. And that means I can bring this down 3.5 inches. Hold on. Did I do that right? No. See, that's how I screw things up. 3.5 inches right there. 3.5. There we go. Oops. That's going to be an opening. There we go. Now, that makes my closet 18 feet long. Wow. So I'm going to have a big closet too. She'll probably take half of my closet and all of hers. So 18, 17, 15 feet long, which is 7.5 inches divided by 2, which is 3 3/4 inches. So we go 3 3/4, then we come half, 1 half. There's a 3-foot doorway there. And that puts my doorway in the middle. Okay. Now we go 1.5 inches to the other side there. Same thing down here, 1.5 inches to the other side. Square that off. go. And we can draw that down to there. So there is the huge bathroom. Now this is her closet. This is my closet. Her closet actually has a door in the middle. So 8 inches. You need to take an 1.5 inches off for the door. That's 6.5 inches, which means 3.25. 3.25 inches in there. And then 1.5 inches further. And there's her closet door. And the same thing on the other side, 3.25 inches down. And 1.5 inches. So she's got a door into and out of her closet, into the bathroom. There's a door into the bathroom there, door into our room, windows. So I got a window there. That's the big door there. There's gotta be, so in 10 feet, no, that's 6 feet of window here. So 3 and 3, just make it up. Double 6 foot double window 6. So that's 1 inch on either side. That's the big ass window there. So there will be, say, 2 windows here. So we'll go 3 foot window there. And we will put a 3 foot window there. And 3 foot window there. But then, this is 11.25, so 5.5. 5 3/4. 5 3/4 puts us there. And we want to go 3 feet out either side. And that will be a glass block wall, a 6 foot glass block wall that goes right don't know if we'll have the outdoor garden there or not. So that's our layout. And I think we are now ready for Tuesday to start the walls. So Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, we will start putting walls on this baby. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening to me ramble. If you don't like what I'm saying, just turn the sound off. And I will see y'all on Tuesday night 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 o'clock Eastern time. Now let's see if this works. Haha, look at that. Wow, my computer is way over there and this is actually working. So I'm stopping the stream now and I'll see you Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. Bye.